Today we're diving into why the One UI 7.0 beta update has been delayed and what's really going on behind the scenes. If you've been eagerly awaiting this update, you might be wondering why it's taking so long. Let's get into the details. The One UI 7.0 beta was originally scheduled for a July release, but that didn't happen. It was then expected to roll out by late August, but again, no luck. Samsung decided to hold off on the release to fix more bugs and ensure a smoother experience. Interestingly, Samsung isn't the only tech giant pushing back its next major update. Google has also delayed the stable release of Android 15 for Pixel devices. Many were expecting Android 15 to drop in September, but according to a report from Android Authority, the update is now planned for October 2024. This timing isn't entirely new. Last year, Google also released Android 14 in October. However, since Google launched its new Pixel devices 2 months earlier this year, they weren't able to release a new Android version alongside the latest phones. Unlike last year when Android 14 and the Pixel 8 series launched together. Given that Google is often seen as the gold standard for Android updates, and even they won't be releasing Android 15 until October, it's understandable why Samsung is taking its time with the One UI 7.0 beta. If Google is being cautious, it makes sense for Samsung to ensure a smooth rollout as well. Recently, Ice Universe shared a screenshot on Twitter revealing that internal testing of One UI 7.0 is still ongoing. He mentioned that the X8 version was discovered just a few minutes prior and that it will still take some time before the beta version is ready. He'd also shared details about the China edition. So what do you think about these delays? Do you prefer a polished update even if it means waiting longer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. However, not everyone will get a chance to participate in this beta testing. As usual, only a select number of Galaxy smartphones will be eligible for the beta program. Let's take a look at the list of devices that are highly likely to receive the One UI 7.0 beta. Galaxy S24 series, Galaxy S23 series, Galaxy S22 series, Galaxy S21 series, Galaxy Z Fold 6, Galaxy Z Flip 6, Galaxy Z Fold 5, Galaxy Z Flip 5, Galaxy Z Fold 4, Galaxy Z Flip 4, Galaxy Z Fold 3, Galaxy Z Flip 3, Galaxy A55, Galaxy A54, Galaxy A35. For those who get to participate, you'll be among the first to experience the new features and improvements of One UI 7.0 and Android 15. Your feedback will be invaluable in helping Samsung fine-tune the software before its final release. That's all for today's update on Samsung's One UI 7.0 beta release. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like. Samsung has been hard at work behind the scenes, testing the latest Android 15 and One UI 7.0. Let's dive into what we've learned so far. Since June, Samsung has been testing Android 15 and One UI 7.0 on several of its mid-range smartphones. These include the Galaxy A53, Galaxy A54, and Galaxy S73. This information was discovered through benchmark listings on Geekbench, a widely used mobile benchmarking app. The development of these updates has been ongoing for quite some time, with the earliest recorded test entry dating back to June 27. This shows that Samsung has been diligently preparing the next major Android and One UI updates for these devices. Now, this isn't too surprising. Samsung usually starts testing new Android versions well in advance, aiming to release them in the second half of the year. The process of adapting new Android versions and One UI updates takes time, so starting early gives them a crucial head start. In 2024, Samsung is introducing Galaxy I, which has made even minor One UI updates more extensive. For example, One UI 6.1 took extra time before it could be rolled out to eligible devices, and the same is happening with One UI 6.01. Because of this, Samsung has had to delay the One UI 7.0 beta program. So what can we expect with One UI 7.0? The Galaxy A53, a 54, and a 73 won't be getting Galaxy Eye features with this update, but there will be some significant changes, especially in terms of the user interface. Samsung is also working on bringing Galaxy Eye to some of this year's Galaxy smartphones, and we might not have to wait until One UI 7.0 for that. That's all for today's update. What are your thoughts on Samsung's upcoming One UI 7.0? While the beta release might be taking longer than we expected, this delay could mean a more polished firmware when it finally arrives. But there's no doubt, Samsung is hard at work on the new software. So what's the latest? A new internal test build of One UI 7.0 for the Galaxy S24 series has been spotted on Samsung's servers. According to a post shared on X by TerranVets33, this build is labeled with the firmware version S928BX8/S928BXM3BX8/S928BXXU3BXH8. This follows a previous build ending in BXH4, indicating that Samsung is making steady progress in developing the new firmware. Now, while this new build doesn't give us an exact timeline for the One UI 7.0 update release, it does confirm that Samsung is moving forward and getting closer to launching the beta program. We don't know the exact start date for the One UI 7.0 beta, but Galaxy S24 users in select markets will likely be the first to get their hands on it. Other Galaxy devices are expected to join the beta testing later this year as well. As many of you have probably heard, One UI 7.0 is set to bring several changes to Samsung's custom Android skin. But one of the most intriguing changes, in my opinion, is pretty subtle. If the leaked screenshots are accurate, Samsung plans to completely redesign the battery indicator in the status bar. At first glance, this might seem like a small change, but it's more significant than you might think, especially when you consider the history of One UI and its predecessor, TouchWiz. The battery indicator has stayed largely the same for about a decade. Since the release of TouchWiz Nature UI 3.0 on the Galaxy S5 back in 2014, the battery icon has had a similar look, a single color, vertically aligned icon with a thunderbolt symbol when charging. Before that, it had a multicolor design with a green interior and a white outline. Over the years, the changes have been minimal, like slightly rounding the corners of the icon. This new pill-shaped battery indicator in One UI 7.0 marks a departure from a long-standing design choice. What do you think about this design change? Let me know in the comments below.